Yeah, Tifa will take 10,000 damage. That's fine. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why they would, because they're mono green brained and they're not used to it. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain Jay. And tonight we have a very special treat for you. Yes, we do. Because tonight we are running Mr. Bad Time. Oh yeah. Golgari Reanimator. It's a risky play in this day and age to run a Reanimator deck. But I said, you know, we got to do it, man. We got to get in there one way or the other and get that Reanimator deck going. We had a couple of methods, not only Reanimator. We have the big stuff on the high end. We have the Kona trick. I know everyone's been talking about the Kona trick. This is going to be my Kona trick deck using the planets. It's going to really be my first kind of station deck. I haven't used station a lot, but you're going to see how it works on this one. So before we get down into it, I need you to do something for me, which is, of course, tenderly press that like button, gently press that subscribe button, because if you don't press that like and subscribe button, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get attacked by the like and subscribe, which you may or may not know is a YouTube werewolf who will viciously attack you and maul you and rip you apart for not liking the video and subscribing to the channel today. Join us on the stream every night at twitch.tv/thatvillainj for all live streaming goodness. We'd love to have you there live and in person on Twitch and on YouTube. Both those places, you can follow the Twitch link down below. Hit that bell, be notified when we go live or upload anything. It'd be great to have you there. Check out our Discord community for all latest news, information, post your decks, ask questions. It's all right there on Discord. And of course, this deck and all the other ones that I build are going to be available down below on my AetherHub. So if you want a copy of it, it's right down there. So that all being said, what are we talking about when we talk about Mr. Bad Time? Oh yeah. First things first, I'm going to go with Tiny Bones Joins Up. This is a great way to mess with your opponent and get the things into your graveyard that you're going to want for reanimation purposes. 1 black, legendary enchantment. When Tiny Bones joins up, any number of target players discard a card, meaning you can select yourself with this as well. So if you know already, hey, I have my Zombify or I have my Kona or whatever I need to get back, I can put my main card into the graveyard right away. You can get yourself set up that way. It's a good way to open the game, and it forces your opponent to discard a card too, which maybe, hey, they don't want to do that. They want to keep their cards. So you gain an advantage and they get a disadvantage. Another great way of keeping your cards into your graveyard when you want them to be is going to be Bitter Triumph. 1 black and 1 is additional cost to the spell. Discard a card or play 3 life. We don't mind paying 3 life. I mean, it can happen. We can gain life later in the game, so it's not that big of an issue. However, again, putting something in your graveyard that you want to be in your graveyard is going to be kind of critical. It is going to work because there are certain things that are just going to be better in there. There's going to be different things that are just going to be more advantageous that we're going to want to replay. So Bitter Triumph is going to help and help the removal. Now we have the Goth Girl, the Cynical Loner. Love it. 1 black and 1, 3/1 human survivor. This creature cannot be blocked by glimmers. In the games that I play, believe it or not, that actually came in handy one time. They posted a glimmer, and I don't think they realized that it couldn't block. She is not all about those little floaty glimmers. Survival. Now here's the interesting thing. This is where survival comes into handy. Survival requires things to be tapped to trigger. At the beginning of your second main phase, if this creature is tapped, you can do a thing. This goes into the whole method of what we're trying to do here with the new cards of Susser Segundi and Evando Waking Haven, whatever. Because station requires you to immediately tap something. So you click station, you say, I'm going to station it with that. You immediately tap it, and it's going to be right away. Even if it's even has summoning sickness, it can get tapped. And it right away is going to immediately activate survival. What her survival does that's so interesting is you may search your library for a card and put it into your graveyard. Again, filling your graveyard is going to be super essential, because if you're going to run Reanimator, that's going to be the key. So her being able to fill up your graveyard for you early game is going to be really good using the planets as it goes. Lumbering World Wagon. This is another way, as a vehicle, this is another way to 1, ramp, and 2, have things come in tapped. Tap things, which is going to be essential for what we're doing here. 1 green and 2, it's a 3-drop, nice on the curve. When it enters, you search your library for basic land, put it in, boom, put it in tapped, and boom. It has crew 4. I kind of wish it had crew 3. It would be really good if Cynical Loner could do it. However, it's not really who we want to crew it for this one. It also has the power based on the number of lands we have down, and whenever it attacks, we also get to put more lands down, so we can put a lot of damage down range if we're just raw swinging in with this big old crazy walker right there. So it does help. It does help ramp, which we can hard cast some stuff if we ramp hard enough, and hit this. So now we get to the main event. All the other stuff was just, dressing. You know what I mean? It was just kind of filling up on bread until we got to where we wanted to go. The main thing is going to be the Zombify and the Kona Rescue Beastie. I'm sure you've seen this version a few times. I kind of wanted to do mine. I hadn't explored it yet. This is a survival card. 1 green and 3, 4/3 at the beginning of your second main phase. If Kona is tapped, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. This is a way of tricking huge cards in. Now you say, oh, well, Jay, she needs to be tapped. That's the thing. When you have Evondo or Susser Segundi and you are stationing, you can put it in and immediately tap. Go to your second main phase and put whatever you want down. Immediately you're crapping out Valgavoth or Aiden the Usurper. You're putting out some of these big monsters here and you're bringing in the heat. That is the advantage of having that station mechanic alongside survival. They synchronize really well. So that's the EOE kind of angle to this one. Additionally, remember, this is a crew 4. So if you have a really smooth curve from Lumbering World Wagon into Kona Rescue Beastie, guess what? Kona Rescue Beastie crews this one. That swings in for a 5. Boom, you get an extra mana. Boom. Actually not a really good combination play. Then they're survive, then immediately Valgavoth's down on turn 4. Turn 4 Valgavoth, guys, you know the song. If he's on the table, you've already lost, because he's Valgavoth. So we're bringing in a lot of stuff. That is the Kona combo. It's very popular. I wanted to get you my version. We want backup. Kona is 1 card. Kona is susceptible to removal. Kona can be killed. It is a possibility. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to put all of our hopes on Kona right here. Kona's a great girl, but what can we do? Zombify. I have no idea if Kona's a girl, guy. It's some sort of nightmare dog. Anyways, 1 black and 3. Simple Zombify answer on that one. Zombify is not always going to work because people are running Graveyard Hate. However, being able to, again, put things in our graveyard, specifically with Bitter Triumph, Cynical Loner, and Tiny Bones, we have 2 routes. So if they're killing things, good, fine. We can do the Reanimator. If they're doing other stuff, we can get that way. We have 2 methods of getting the heavy hitters down on the board. Kona and Zombify on turn 4. We can fill our graveyard with things that can be reanimated, hold stuff in our hand that can be reanimated, and that's what we do. For the big boy hitters, we're going to go in here. I'm going to show you all the premium heavyweight class champions. Valgavoth, Terror Eater. He's all about 9s. 3 black and 6, 9 drop, 9/9, flying, sacrifice ward, sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. If a card you didn't control would be put anywhere into your opponent's graveyard, exile it, and you get to cast it by paying life. A monster. Not easy to get rid of Valgavoth right there, man. Very, very tricky to get rid of. Aiden, Mr. Bad Time himself. Yeah, we're going to have to run Mr. Bad Time. 3 black and 5. That is an 8-drop, 4/4. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. Powerful. Star Scourge. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile the card this raid, create a top token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 5/5 black demon. And remember, all demons are Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. Been a while since I ran an Aiden deck because Reanimator is a little tough to do right now, but putting Aiden out turn 4, turn 5 is monstrous. You want to make it even worse? I have something for you. I haven't done this in a while, but it is really fun. Jumbo Cactuar. Boom. You make sure that Jumbo Cactuar is in your graveyard so that Aiden can bring it back. You can make sure Jumbo Cactuar is in there through Cynical Loner, Bitter Triumph, or Tiny Bones, all the methods I told you. That means that as soon as you get Aiden out, Arden the Usurper, as soon as you either reanimate him or put him on the board and it's his turn, we can bring back Jumbo Cactuar, immediately attack with a Menace. It's going to get plus 9999. That is going to be a 10,004. It's going to do 10,004 Lifelink, Menace, and Haste. 10,000 damage is going in at your opponent. Generally, people don't have 10,000 life in this game unless they've hit you with a Cactuar and you somehow survived. That is going to almost immediately kill your opponent. So Jumbo Cactuar doing what it does, we are going to run the Arden and Cactuar combo. If we're doing Golgari Reanimator, we got to get a little tricky on them, right? Extremely powerful, extremely potent. Even if they manage to block it, it's got Menace, so they need 2 to block it. Even if they manage to block it, generally people give up when they see that you have 10,000 life, because they know they're never going to eat through that amount of life right there. So we are going to do the Arden Cactuar combo. Some other good and great Reanimator targets. I'm going to go with Vile Mutilator. Not bad. 2 black and 6/5 additional cost. You have to sacrifice a creature or an enchantment. Not if we're reanimating them, though. It's really good. Another anti-glimmer tech right here. Look at that. Demon is eating that glimmer. Whenever this creature enters, each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature and a non-token artifact. Very useful. I mean, a non-token enchantment and a non-token creature. Fun card right there. I don't get to play it often, but I like to do it every now and again. And we're going to finish it off with a Vaultborn Tyrant. Why not? 2 green and 5/6/6. Whenever this creature, another creature you control with power 6 or more or greater enters, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Keep those cards flowing the more big monsters that you play, and then when it dies, it punishes your opponent for playing it, because you get to just return it again in a token form, and then possibly reanimate it again. You're going to gain 3 life and draw a card on top of that. So those are going to be our heavyweight heavy hitters for the Beastie and the reanimation trick right here. The trick is just surviving, guys. Just survive. Aggro is going to be a problem, but you got to play your removal tactically. You got to play those blocks. If you can get to where your big is, generally you're just going to get the scoop. People are just going to kind of give up on you when they see the monstrous things they're going. As far as the new cards, I would say that you need to have, this is important. The lands are kind of critical in this. You need at least 4 stations, okay? I know that they're mythic rares, but I think you need 4 vehicles and 4 stations for an 8 total to get off Kona successfully over and over again. I'm going to go with 2 Susser Segundis, which will add black and come in tapped, but you can immediately station. You can pay 2 life and draw cards equal to the sacrifice creature's power, which is super useful if you get the full station off on it. And then, of course, we have Evondo Waking Haven, which is the green one, comes in tap for green, and less useful right here because we're not really going wide. We add green, play 1 green, and we add 1 green for each creature we control. Useful for a go wide. I'm less likely to try to fill the station on that. This could be useful if you're stuck and you really want to fill the station with a big monster. If you really do want to sacrifice and get a lot of cards, I feel like Susser Segundi's kind of a little bit more fun to station, gives you a bigger advantage. Blooming Marsh, Underground Mercenary, right there for the Verges, because you need swamps and forests. That is what it's going to be. But you definitely need these station cards right there. Not a cheap deck, guys. Very heavy on the wilds, but hey, it's fun. 22 creatures, beasts, demons, dinosaurs, survivors, 4 instant sorceries, artifacts, 25 enchantments, and 25 lands, believe it or not. Now, I am running 61 cards. Do you want to cut a land from it? Yeah, you could. Do you want to leave a comment saying, Jay, why are you running 61 lands? You could do that too. A little bit more black than green. You could certainly cut a green right here and run 60. Hey, why not? As far as the sideboard goes, a little bit of protection goes a long way. Royal Treatment, we could also go the Smuggler Surprise route to get 2 people at an instant speed out in that one. As far as Exile, get rid of a Hexproof, a little bit more removal, never hurt anybody, especially for something like, what's that thing called? Sheltered by Ghost. Strategic Betrayal, get rid of their graveyard. Assassin's Trophy is a great removal at instant speed because it destroys any permanent, so useful for enchantments or artifacts in case you're fast doing that. Another good alternative is Thunderous Velocipede if you don't have the Lumbering World Wagon. That's not a bad one because creatures come in with a lot of 1/1 counters on it. It's a good little vehicle right there. And believe it or not, Overlord of the Hauntwoods, not a bad one either. Helps you ramp, comes in aggressively, will pend. Not a bad one to do Hauntwoods either way. So that is going to be the sideboard suggestions right there. Just a little bit of utility cards to make sure you can survive anything it throws at you. And we are going to hit out Mr. Bad Time here. Don't forget about Valkavoth because he's on the table. You know what it is, guys. You've already lost. Let's get into it. Standard rank reset right here. We did play this in Mythic. So you will see me play this in Mythic because I recorded it right before the season change. So yeah, it works in Mythic. You got that. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Isn't that fucked up? And I used to line up my deck. I used to line up the cards in my deck in rows of 21 cards. I would line up my deck of 21 cards. I would do 3 lines. I'd be looking at it on the table, and I would line up 3 rows of 21 cards. TJ, how you doing? I don't know. There's no rule that says the minimum number of cards you're supposed to have in the deck is 60. That's the minimum number. Like, you can have an 80 card deck, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want, really, with this game, believe it or not. You can just fucking do whatever. Oof. Take action. Green land. The Green Lantern. Take action. We're gonna put a ardent whatever in the thingy. Actually, what they're saying, TJ, is I did Blood Angels one night, and the next night I did Poison. So it was theoretically a Poison Angel situation. Technically. As if he's on the table, you've already lost, 'cause he's my bag of yeah. Let's put Vaultborn Tyrant in the graveyard. Let's put down Valks. There we go. Yeah, that's good stuff right there. Ooh, took 2 here. Let's see if he goes for the Wipe. Does he have the Wipe ability? No, he's dead. Drift Ronin, how you doing? So, Vesky, you know, it's really hard for me, man. I don't like playing good decks. I like playing fucking nonsensical garbage. That's my favorite. Discounted on Twitch. You can get subs for pretty cheap. So if you ever wanted to have a Twitch sub, or you're a Twitch watcher, it's very cheap to sub on Twitch. Split up. Barricade, yes. Barricade. Oof, Arden the Usurper. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to say discard a card, kill you, get Arden in there. Oof. Collector's Vault. I'm almost there. I might try to kit the vault soon. We'll see. I'm almost at a double vault. That reminds me of a double Vorpal Knight. We love double Vorpal Knights. Oof. Take action. We put a black down. Oof. Pop and mate 1. Pump. Arden the Usurper. Cynical Loner. Oof. Cynical Loner. Oof. Crew 4. Let's do it. Take action. I will put a Cactuar in there. And I will also put a... Wastewood Verge, so there's a lower chance of me drawing a land. Lightning Helix, one of them. Very nice. It's going to pop me for that. Bango. Perfect. Alright. Wonderful. Arden the Usurper. Pop. Submit 0. Let's do that. My Graveyard. Jumbo Cactuar. Swing in. 100,000 points of damage, and that'll be that. There you go. Negative. Oh, we almost got him down to exactly 9999999. Only 10 away from getting the 999999999. Pretty good. Not bad. Little slow on that one, but we dragged it across the finish line. By the way, only 2 decks tonight have not had... No, I'm sorry. Only 1 deck tonight has not had blue or white in it, which should pretty much tell you everything you need to know about the meta. We played Azorius, Domain, Izzet, Dimir, Domain, Azorius, Orzhov, Boros. That was our run tonight so far. Every single deck had blue or white in it. If you're not understanding what that means, it means that we're in a real control-y era right now. People don't like you doing stuff. They really don't like you doing stuff. That's the worst thing you could be doing, is stuff. The #1 cause of problems with Magic is your opponent doing things. That's the main reason you have issues with your Magic deck, is that your opponent does things. So, to solve this problem, how do we solve this problem? How do we solve your opponent doing things? Well, we run blue or white, and blue or white are both very effective at making your opponent not do things. And I think that's the goal, is to just try to have your opponent do as little as possible. As little as humanly possible. Human. 1/1s or tokens. He's going to do tokens. Okay. Boof, boof. Okay. We do this. We Kona Rescue Beastie. We do that. We do that. Take action. Put down a black. Getting them all. Okay. Pop, pop, pop. Nice. Put down Arden the Usurper. Okay. Thank you for coming, Jappy Grizel. Hope you have a wonderful day. Or a Boroid. Nice. Ooh, spicy. It's going in. Pop. Okay. Let's do this. Poof. Nice. Boom. Wastewood Verge. We'll put down a Kona. Keep that one. Boom. Oh, yeah. I miss Sheldred all the time. Oh, yeah, Aaron. This is a rare game right here with interaction. It's nuts. Yeah, you don't often get to see these. create, distribute creatures you control, gain trample. Does he have the power to play that? Pump across the board. Is he gonna push? He's gonna push. We block that with that. We block that with that. Oh, it needs two? Okay. 5. 5 and 4. 4 and 4. Let's block that. Or we do 5. Yeah, we'll just do that. Tragic trajectory. Negative. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Yeah, I think he saw it coming. I don't miss a Traxo. She's dead and in hell, where she belongs. There you go. I said it. I said what people aren't willing to say. And by hell, I mean historic. Buggerman, 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 Buggerman. Submit. Guys, I got a really good deck idea, by the way. I got a really good deck idea. What if I reanimated Atraxa, guys? What if? Guys, think about it. Atraxa is really strong, but she's also really expensive. So, my idea is going to be, what if we reanimated Atraxa? Buggerman, 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 Buggerman. Well, here's the thing. Here's my thinking, guys. Okay, so you know how Atraxa is so powerful, right? She's a really powerful card, but she has a really complicated and big casting cost. So what if we went around it by just reanimating her? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what if we just reanimated Atraxa? Are you getting me? Because it's really hard to cast her otherwise. And so this makes it really easy to cast her. So if we reanimate her. Hopefully some of you are understanding what I'm putting down here. I really want to make it clear. Of like what I mean by like a Atraxa reanimator. Because I'm worried some people aren't getting it. We got all mana here, by the way. Gristlebrand. 13. Mossberg Pump. Nice. Aiden. Ten thousand 10,004 damage coming in. It's really good stuff right there. You have to double block me. There you go. Yeah, Tifa will take 10,000 damage. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, there you go. I don't know why they would, because they're mono green brained and they're not used to this stuff happening. I think we're catching them by surprise here. They're kind of mono green brained, so they have to do it. They can't think. They don't have any thoughts. So they're just like, oh, I gotta fucking do it. Oh my god, I gotta fucking do it. And they do it, and then it happens. You know. They would have been much better. They would have been in a rough spot, but they wouldn't have been in this spot if they would have left it alone. Yeah, they would have been in a better situation if they had kind of left it alone. Alright. This is a terrible fucking hand here. I'm gonna mulligan this. That's better. Kona, you're not super useful right now. We'll put you down. Cynical Loner. They're gonna kill it for no real reason. Lumbering Weltwagen. Und Worldwagen. Let's do black. Why not? Alright, I don't know what he's got going on here. No fucking clue. Tiny bones! The tiniest bones you ever did see. Oof. We will target both of us. Yes. Discard a card. Aiden the Usurper. What did he have here? Day of Judgment. Interesting. Let's see if he's got that Graveyard XL stocked up. He may not. I don't know. No telling. Let's see if he's got that counterspell. Show me potato salad. Here comes the removal. Nice. Take action. Wabango. Tango. Ancient Vendetta. River Churn. Oh, okay, I see where this is going. I see what's going on here. Boom. I know what this is. As soon as we see River Churn, we know what we're in for, right? We know what's going on at that point, right? All right. Let's wait. Let's wait. Ooh, Ignis Scientia. I don't know what the fuck this guy does. Yeah, he might mill me to a win here, which is, I think, what he's nervous about. Sean Nacimiento. Nacimiento. Ah, perfect. Let's do this. So discard a card. Kill you. Get rid of fucking Arden. He's got one card in his hand. Arden the Usurper. Could have the removal ready to go. Target me and him. Tiny Bones joins up. We have 6. I want to get to 7 there. I don't want to activate that because I'm worried he's got another fucking thing again. He could have another fucking Ride's End. I'm scared of him for doing that. Ignitia Sancia. I'll grab Cynical Loner. Go in. Hit. Survival. Search your library for a card. Let's put the Cactuar in there. Okay. Probably some sort of board wipe. I think it's probably Singularity Burst coming up here. I would imagine. It's going to be Singularity Burst. Well, I feel like maybe he'd already have done it. No, Awaken the Honored Dead. Destroy target non-land permanent. He's going to destroy Arden. Let's do cancel. Boom. Okay. Waste one Verge. Do this. Swing. Take action. Put down you. Hit him for 8. Wabango. We're almost at the hard cast situation here. Take action. Who else do we want in our graveyard? I guess we really don't need mana anymore, so we'll put mana in our graveyard, reduce the chance. Okay. Mill 3 cards. He's looking for it. He's looking for it, boys and ghouls. I don't know what he's looking for, but I'm going to say that it's it that he's looking for. Enduring Innocence. That's very funny. Yeah, that can't be blocked by glimmers. This is probably in the history of Magic, the first time that her ability of not being able to be blocked by glimmers has ever worked in Constructed. This is a glimmer. She can't be blocked by glimmers. That's why that happened. Very confusing, but it worked. Again, a guy whose deck I really don't know what he was doing. I don't know where he was going with that, but he certainly was going there fast or slow. Actually, he was going very slow to where he was headed. Nacimiento. Tango something something, nacimiento. All right. I have Mystical Knight. You know what? I was just talking about that. I was literally just talking about reanimating Atraxa. It's so funny you mention it. Because I'm thinking, you know, okay, so listen to my plan here, guys. All right, listen. Atraxa is really expensive to use, okay? She's got a really complicated way of working, right? It's a very expensive kind of casting cost. So what if instead of having that expensive casting cost, we just we reanimated her, guys? It's so genius. I don't think anybody's run that deck. I think that's total secret tech, by the way. I think that nobody has ever run that deck in the history of decks, ever in all of time. That's my theory, anyways. I think that no one has ever thought of that in the history of the world. I have a feeling that has never been discussed. Yeah, mind equals blown. Tell me about it, man. I felt like Galileo when I fucking thought of that shit, man. You've no idea. I felt like I was seeing stars for the first time, you know? Like, how could one even... How would you even... You know, like, how would... I can't even really get my mind around it, guys. I can't even really get my mind around how amazing it will be to reanimate Atraxa, to be perfectly honest with you. It's going to be so powerful. I think it's going to be a real game changer. I think it's going to be a real game changer, to be perfectly honest. You know, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I also thought about... Okay, so there's this spell called Omniscience. I want you to hear me out on this one. Omniscience lets you play spells for free, but it's really expensive to cast. So the question is, how do we get Omniscience out earlier? You know? And I'm thinking that we use some other way to reanimate Omniscience, and that way we can cast whatever spells we want for free. You can't because she's finally in hell. Tell me about it. Yeah, I know, but everyone is turned off by the expensive Omniscience, right? They're like, "Whoa, Jay, that's so expensive. How would anybody ever cast Omniscience?" And my answer is, well, we'll just reanimate it. You know, we'll just reanimate it. And I think that's where that's going to really come in handy. Omniscience. Yuna can get enchantments. Oh my goodness. And what if we got Yuna out a turn earlier? If we got her out on turn 3, turn 4, or turn 3 if we ramped. We might really be onto something here, boys. We might really be onto something here. Oof. Boys and ghouls. Alright, he's doing He's doing this. Let's do Underground Mortuary. Lumbering World Wagon. Okay. Oof. Surveil 1. Okay. Take action. We will put down a green. Despacito. All right. They're going to exile another one just like that. It still gets crewed. Yeah, it still gets crewed, my dude. It still gets its crew bonus off. Not sure if that was the best idea, but hey, you know. Hey, it's the numbest of skulls. How we doing tonight, Numbskull? Into the blood again. Same old trip was back then. Boop, bop, boop, 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 bop. Though I made a big mistake. Try to see it once my way. Am I wrong? Have I gone too far to get over, girl? Am I wrong? Left you here alone. If I could, would you? How we doing, the numbest of skulls? Thank you for coming by, my guy. We got a podcast up tomorrow. And the funniest part of the podcast, let me tell you what I've been thinking about all day, and it's the funniest thing ever. The nums... I'm laughing just thinking about it. So we were doing a mono black deck tomorrow on the podcast. And we win a game, and then it jumps over to the reward screen, and then I get a reward that was... my reward was an Ugin. And at the same time, me and Numbskull both go, ew. It was the funniest shit ever. It was the funniest shit ever. He goes, ew. We both simultaneously go, ew. As soon as Ugin popped up on the screen. Oh, man. It was really funny. It was really, really funny. He got me with the reanimate. He's got an infinite loop. He can kill 11 cards or whatever. It doesn't matter. He's taking forever too, which is boring. Yeah, as soon as it, like, you know, the reward screen pops up and a big Ugin card popped up and we're both watching and talking, and in the middle of both of us talking, we both went, oh, ugh. Like somebody showed us something vulgar. It was really funny. Alright, that's not too bad. Let's do that. Tiny Bones. Remove stop. Okay. Cynical Loner. Probably gonna kill it. I think he wants to kill it because he just doesn't care. Volga Vegans. Volgavushas. Yeah, he has to kill it. Take action. Green. Okay. We can hit Zombify. Ping for 1. Underground Mortuary. Oh yeah. It's all coming together. Perfect. Take action. Green. Boom. Boof. Boof. Okay. Doesn't have a wipe. He's in trouble now, I think. He's in trouble now, I think. Lava Spur is not going to help. Lava Spur. No, bro. That's not going to do nothing for you. Yeah, Gloomlock. Sorry, man. We hit the top deck. We hit that thick boy top deck. You look like the dud, Millhouse. Glass Casket. Very nice. Ken Zodiac. Boop, 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 boop. Look, it's Advandro. That sucks. This is not a great opener. I'll keep it just for shits and giggles, I suppose. I do need a regular land. Valgavoth. Oh, yeah, if he's running green and we're slow like this, we're gonna lose. We're gonna fucking lose. Yeah, I've drafted very few times, man. I have very, very rarely drafted. I don't care for it. I tried to draft IRL draft when I was like 13. Went to my local game store. It was actually a card shop. They sold sports cards. So really their function was to sell... Their real function was to sell expensive cards, so they started selling Magic cards. I remember it was called sports cards. And that was literally the name of the store. But they did Magic occasionally because there was money in it. So, and they had a draft, and I got my draft packs, and I did terrible, and I had not a fun time, and I was out my money. So I was like, this is not for me. I like building my deck. I like making my deck. That's what I like. Yeah. We are in bad shape because we can't get any blackout. I need a green mana, a black mana, an underground mortuary. Any one of those will do. I don't know. I don't. Drafting is like a roguelite, and I'm not really crazy about roguelites. If you're like love roguelites, like, oh, I'll play for an hour and then I'll die and then try another run. Like, that's what drafting is. It's doing another run. It's doing run after run after run. And I don't care for it. I like to build my thing the way I want it and modify it and have the equipment that I want and the other things that I want. I don't want to go through a roguelite. I want to play a deck that I made, that I have control over. The randomness is... It's not fun. The randomness is really what turns me off, I think, more than anything else. It's just like, oh, you got a bad draft, you hit no good cards, and none of your rares were good? Well, I guess you're just fucked. I guess you just have to play this out, and you're just royally fucked. It's not really anything to it. You know, and that's, to me, is like, why? You know, I don't know. It's, why? Why do that? Yeah, so... He's going to hold up because he has priority, and he loves going on total control. Should I station my whole station off on their station? No. End turn. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. Oof. That's their turn. That was pointless. Ken Zodiac. I get that. Okay, good. He could run a sweeper. It would be bad for him if he did. I've got a really solid hand here. Zavritz, the favorites. The number one Davritz. How you doing, my guy? That goes to me. That goes to you. Otherwise, pizza's gonna send out for you. Alright, ooh, okay. Good stuff. Yeah, that's what I thought, Ken Zodiac. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking it was over. I was thinking it was over. Buggerman, 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 Buggerman. Try Vein Ripper. I gotta do another Vein Ripper dealio. Buggerman, 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 Buggerman. All right, guys. I mean, it's a fun deck. I think it'll get you somewhere. We get some long ass games in, man. Overall, 60% win rate. Not great on the play. On the draw, we're coming in a little hotter. Overall, pretty decent. Once we got that locked in, we went actually 6-2 on the final version. So what's that? I don't know. Yeah, 60%, whatever. Yeah, pretty solid. Pretty solid. I'm happy with the final version of this one. I think it's a slow deck. I think it is a lot of RNG, but hey, it's different and it's fun. And we get to run the Cynical Loner, the Goth Girl, which is, you know, always an advantageous situation to be in. And the best part of it, it's 61 cards. That's the favorite part. That's my favorite part of that one. So hey, you know, I did the planet thing. I did station. I did it. That's all I gotta say. I did it.